Thomas Frank said after the game, he had a fire inside. He was so angry. And I like Thomas Frank a lot.
Me too.
As a person, I like his story coming up.
Yeah.
Really self-made guy. We cheered him on at Brentford. Whatever he's doing is not working. Since mid-September, they've won 3 games. One was against Doncaster.
Yeah.
One was against Everton in that weird game when Van de Ven had the 2 headers and Vicario made all those unbelievable saves. The other one was against Leeds, 2 deflected goals. They won 2-1 away.
Yeah.
Somehow they're still 5th on the table. But this team is terrible. I mean, they literally are playing some of the worst football that we're seeing in the Premier League this season. That XG stat, I don't know, the nerd platform I use said it was 0.10. Whatever one ESPN uses, 0.05.
Mine as well, yeah. It's between the two probably somewhere.
3 shots on goal, and you're playing at home.
1 on target. I think Chelsea exposed them, and the Chelsea team that
Cole Palmer.
Yeah,
I just remind people, right?
Yeah, that had obviously lost to Sunderland the weekend before, but been doing well, but still probably not at the height that we would expect them to be at some point. They exposed the lack of creativity massively, and you mentioned the stats, the shots on target, the expected goals if you're into that. But no, even if you're not into your stats, just watching that team struggling to do anything with the ball collectively, because you can give the ball to Kudus, and he's going to do a few dribbles and a step over and then maybe cross the ball for no one in the box. Xavi Simons came on because Bergwall was concussed. He came off again 50 minutes later because he was that bad.
He did nothing.
Did nothing at all. Let's not even go. I mean, I thought Thomas Frank messed up with his starting lineup anyway. There was only 2 attacking players in Colomwani. I'm not really sure why he started that game ahead of Richarlison. And then Kudus. Everybody else was either a defender or a 6 or an 8. Bergwall, Sarr, Palhinha, Bentancur in the midfield 4. This is not for me. Maybe for him. I'm just not sure how he thought this team could create and could score against a Chelsea team that was going to do everything they did. Caicedo is a monster in midfield. If you're not more creative, that back 4 could be solid. And then they've got players to hit you as well if you give them the space like they did. So there was just nothing from Spurs, defensively or offensively.
I don't want to overlook Chelsea. This was a very good performance.
Very strong, yeah.
You have to understand, though, when you play against an opponent who plays the way Spurs did, it's kind of hard to even judge where Chelsea are. Their XG was close to 4. I think they could have easily scored. I'm really not exaggerating here. 4 or 5 goals,
I agree.
if not more. Lanky St. Vic, Vicario made some unbelievable saves to keep Spurs in the game. But fair result here would have been runaway Chelsea win. So all praise to Chelsea. We'll talk about them later. I have to go back to something I saw, which really makes me wonder about Frank, and which is some of the indiscipline from some of these players. Part of it is Bergwall. Bro, you're a professional footballer. You got hit on the head. If the doctor tries to take you off the pitch for the concussion protocol, don't try to shake him off and be Mr.
But
Big Man.
they're all going to do that. That's what players do in every sport.
No, but
they try to stay.
When I thought the way he did it, his body language, really inappropriate. And what we saw at the end, Djed Spence and Mickey van de Ven. Now, they don't do this at every club, but at many clubs, evidently at Spurs, it's customary to go and you applaud your fans for supporting you.
Yeah.
Right? You go over to them. After games like this, you go there to get abuse. Bayern does this. After Bayern games, a lot of clubs do it, right? Not everybody does it.
No, but more clubs than do it than not. Yeah.
You go under there, and if you play badly, then you get the abuse. Mickey van de Ven and Djed Spence ignore Frank when he tells them to go over there. I hear this battery of Muppets on my television expose. Oh, well, they're just frustrated. Frustrated what? Be a professional first. Remember who's paying your salary. It's those people in the stands. Yeah. This really, really makes me. I hope Frank just really takes it. Just rips both those guys a new ones.
Because the point is not so much what he told them to do, whether he was like, go and clap the fan, move your car from the car park, go and buy me some bread, and it's the fact that he asked them to do something and they didn't do it. So they refused to do what he said to them.
In public.
Yeah.
In public. Joe, sticking with this, I ranted. You know my thoughts on this. I know fans don't always behave well, but in terms of individuals, in terms of groups, if you're talking about fans,
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to be respectful. And this is why I take issue with, I didn't mention this last time, but since we're talking about Chelsea, Garnacho, when he scores and he does a little thing where he sits on the on the advertising hoarding.
Yeah.
Bro, do it in front of your own fans. Don't do it in front of the away fans, which he's done before. I don't think he does it on purpose. I don't think he's thinking.
Yeah.
But you always have to have respect for these people.
I agree.
These guys were disrespectful. And then Thomas Frank afterwards, he says, well, it's just a small thing, blah, blah, blah. We were talking off air. You suggested that Thomas Frank is being a professional. He's not throwing them under the bus.
Yeah.
Privately, do we think Thomas Frank has it in him to go and like...
Yeah, I think so. There will be a talk that, like a Xabi Alonso, Vinicius, post-Classico, don't do it publicly, do it privately, which I think is fair. There's no need for him to lay into them again, especially after a defeat like that. I would think it's something you sort out in private. Don't really need, I think, to open up too publicly to the press or to the media. I think the fans don't need to hear you like being mad at them in front of your television on Match of the Day or things like that. And I think he knows better that those things are sorted out in private. But it's just not a good look. Again, just for the look of it, whatever he's asked them. But Spence's reaction with his arms, throwing his arm into his in the air to his manager too, like felt in terms of image, looked really bad.
And honestly, I hearing some people saying like, well, but they're just frustrated. You know, you just want to get down the tunnel. And I'm like, what kind of
there's
like
a part of that for sure, I'm sure.
Yeah, but sorry, what kind of like entitled, like out of touch world do you live in? No. If you go and you justify this kind of behavior.
But you also see this. We talk about this because Frank asked them to go and they refused, like we said. But there's a lot like if Frank doesn't go on the pitch, Van de Ven and Spence going back into the dressing room straight away without clapping the fan, nobody notices.
No. And
that happens all the time.
Of course. And all the time we also see some coaches who, when their team loses or whatever, they go straight down the tunnel, right?
Absolutely.
We see that all the time.
This is a story because he asked them to do something which they refused to do.
But you know why? But Thomas Frank may not be a good manager for a big team like Spurs, but he's a good person who's accountable. He goes, he puts his face out there. He says, I picked this crappy lineup. I gave them these instructions. I am responsible. I'm accountable just as much as my players, if not more.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, I think you need people like Thomas Frank, because when I look at some of these individuals, between the ones who are unhinged, the ones who, like Kudus, seems to have issues seeing any other teammates on the pitch. The ones like Bentancur, that tackle, how does he not get
It's a
sent
red
off?
card every day. I cannot even believe that people are saying it's okay, it's a yellow.
No, you know why? It's because, okay, I don't want to criticize the PGMOL here because it's a really good thing that they're doing, right? They have somebody who, after the decisions, the VR looks at them, they tell you why he wasn't punished.
Yeah. On social media, you mean?
Yeah. So, and I think they do it in real time with the broadcasters as well, right?
Yeah. They tell them to.
That is a good thing, the communication. It doesn't mean that their decisions are right.
No.
The fact that they communicate it, now it's created this environment where, oh, well, they gave us the reason, so that's fine then. No, it's not fine.
What was the reason for this one? Because I didn't.
The reason for this is that, yes, he got him just above the ankle with his studs.
Yeah, high. Studs
but
first.
it wasn't excessive force. It was a love tap.
I would disagree on that. And I think Reece James is a big boy. Bigger than Betancourt for sure, but that would have hurt massively. That tackle. I was very surprised it was not turned into a red. I thought it would be a very easy decision.
So there's an issue of discipline there. There's an issue, I think, tactically with how the pieces fit together. Cuti Romero came back. He came off the bench. By the way, if he had started that game and things had gone that way, I think things would have gotten even worse very, very quickly, right?
Someone off,
What is he doing wrong? Because we have the get out of jail free card. Okay, Madison out, Kulusevski out.
Yeah.
I would add Solanke out, but after this summer in which they signed two other center forwards in Randall Colomwani and Matisse Tell, I don't even know if he likes Solanke. And then you also have Richarlison.
We don't know. He's never seen him play. Because Solanke was injured pretty much when he arrived anyway. Or not long after. He had a bit of preseason, but that was it.
Okay, so you have a team with essentially 4 center forwards. I mean, I know Cal, and I know some of these guys can play wide too.
Wide,
But you have a whole slew of other players who are supposed to play wide. Some of whom did very well last year, like Brian Johnson. Some like Odegaard, who we both really, really like.
Yeah.
You've got Xavi Simons in the mix. You've spent a lot of money on Kudus. It's just a ton of bodies, right?
Yeah.
We mentioned 4 center forwards, and then we mentioned 4 wide players.
Yeah.
That's 8 people, all of whom are pretty much on starter type money for 3 attacking spots. And still in this game, he only plays 2 of them because he plays Bergvall.
Yeah. And Saar.
What? Can you explain?
I think he's struggling from the beginning. He's always said, let's get this team to defend better. No problem. Defensive structure, being solid. Okay. Without Vicario, they would have conceded so many more goals in the 0-0 draw against Monaco, the 3-0 win at Everton.
The Monaco game.
I mean, they were battered by a team that, just lost this weekend in Ligue 1 against
They're 4th in the table,
Paris FC. So okay, they might not concede too many goals, but they concede a lot of chances lately. So even that defensive structure, which by the way, we often say on the show, is much easier to put in place than an attacking an attacking structure where it'll be flowing, movement, all of that. Even that, I'm not too sure about it. But if you look at the lack of creativity, the lack of chances created, the lack of goals even they scored overall, you see, like, how did they think? Okay, maybe they just had hopes for Xavi Simons, maybe, and Kudus. But Kudus is like you said, dribbler, one-on-one player that then crosses the ball in. There's no creativity per se in there. He can't find a pass. He doesn't have an eye for a pass. He's not like a Madison or Kulusevski type. Odegaard is the same on the other side. He just has pace and dribbles. I love him. Paris born and bred. Anything you want, just done that. Mathys Tel is, we're not really sure exactly what he is. He's a good player, but we don't know what his best position is. So that lack of creativity, Madison got injured really early in the summer. So sure, and you knew Kulusevski would not be ready before January at best. So you never thought I would get a proper creator, playmaker, number 10, like a Damsgaard type, which
Xavi Simons, I think, is supposed to be that now.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure he is that kind of playmaker type. I still think he probably prefers to play wide to dribble by piece. Yeah, that's what
you
should
think
have signed.
Bergvall can do it.
No, but that's why I think they should have signed someone. I can't believe they didn't sign anybody of that kind of profile.
Are you dumping this on Fabio's door?
Well, Fabio was not really in play. He's back now and they've got 2 sporting directors, so let's see what they do in January. But really, he was kind of reintegrated after that. So, I don't know. I'm not sure if this squad, with all the money they spent in the summer, because they did spend a lot, 40 on Tel, 55 on Simons, 60 on Kudus. Right. That starts to be a lot of money already.
Colomwani's loan fee is huge too.
Yeah, plus the wages, which are high as a PSG player. That's a lot of money invested, and I'm not sure if the return is good enough for now for sure.
A word on Chelsea and where they are. A friend of mine texted me, he's like, "Oh, good news, no red card this time," which is I skewered Delap for getting sent off in the freaking League Cup Muppet show.
Yeah.
Joe Pedro at center forward worked in this game.
Yeah.
I don't know how well. I don't know if it's something you can rely on consistently. But I think we're starting to see response from some of the wingers. Not just in this game, but before.
Yeah.
I had my doubts on getting them down Garnacho because they're raw. It's still a slow burn. It's happening there. Estevao, I think, is far ahead of the curve of where you would expect an 18-year-old to be moving to a new country, to a new team. And Caicedo's a monster.
Caicedo is the best. Like, Caicedo makes this team for me every single day. I could play next to him and I look good. Like James look good in that. Like Gusto would look good. Like Lavia looks good. Lavia is talented. Even Enzo next to. Like, you could put anybody next to him.
I was talking to somebody I really respect in football, and they made the point that with Caicedo, you focus on his athleticism and he covers so much ground and whatever. But and he's like a data guy, so I think he's got numbers picked up. But he said like he's also happens to be one of the most intelligent players in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And we know
even technically some of the goals he scored this season, the assist for Joao Pedro, and I know it's his physicality as well that helps, but he's aware, it's a good last touch, I think he's phenomenal, really phenomenal talent. And for me, he makes this team, he makes the defenders behind him look better. He makes whoever plays next to him look better. It's just like, I think he's incredible. And if they lose him, more than Cole Palmer, if they lose him, I think they will be in massive, massive trouble.
Well, there you go. Enters on a postcard. Who is more indispensable to this Chelsea team? Moises Caicedo or Cole Palmer?